The Parable of the Valley, a story of crisis and growth. Written by Sarah Suzuki. Copyright 2024, Sarah Suzuki. In a valley with green hills and a bright blue sky stood the great oak. Its broad branches offered shade to every visitor. The valley's keepers, rocks, grass, flowers, and trees, each played a part in caring for the oak. The rocks kept the soil steady, holding the oak's roots strong. Soft grass guided those seeking the oak's wisdom. Bright flowers brought smiles to travelers passing through. Tall trees sheltered anyone in need of rest on their journey. People traveled from far away to visit the great oak. There they found peace and healing. When they returned home, they shared the oak's wisdom with others. The valley was a special place, and all its keepers took pride in caring for the oak. As word of the great oak's healing power spread, more and more people came to the valley, and the keepers worked harder than ever. "We need help," the keepers agreed. So they called upon 3 guardians: Wind, to carry seeds and spread life; Rain, to water the earth and fill the streams; Sun, to provide warmth and help plants grow. With the guardians' help, the valley thrived, and the great oak grew stronger. But as more visitors came, managing the valley became harder. "Making decisions together takes too long," grumbled the rocks. "But we've always decided together," replied the trees. "Yes, and it's getting harder to agree," sighed the grass. "What if we chose one guardian to lead?" the flowers suggested. "Surely one is more important than the rest." The keepers paused to consider, then nodded in agreement. "Which guardian is the most important?" they asked. "I am," said the wind. "Without me, seeds wouldn't scatter, and no one from distant lands would hear of the great oak." The keepers nodded. This was important. "I am," said Rain. "Without me, the earth would dry up, streams would turn to dust, and nothing would survive." The keepers nodded again. This was also important. "I am," said Sun. "Without my light, nothing would grow, and the world would be lost in darkness." This seemed most important of all. They chose Sun to lead them. At first, the valley flourished under the sun's constant light. More travelers arrived, drawn by the promise of endless sunshine. But soon, the grass turned brown, the air grew hot, and leaves began to fall from the trees. "The soil is parched," said Rain. "The valley needs my help," added Wind. But the sun, confident it could handle everything alone, ignored them, and the valley began to suffer. "We're wilting," whispered the flowers. "I miss the wind," sighed the trees. Feeling isolated, the sun shone even harder, unaware that the valley was in danger. One scorching day, lightning struck the earth. The dry land caught fire and flames spread quickly. "Help us!" cried the flowers. "We're burning!" groaned the trees. "If the fire reaches us, we will crack," warned the rocks. Rain hovered above, uncertain. "I don't know if I can stop the fire." "You should have let me move your clouds," snapped Wind. Rain drifted away, ashamed. "Maybe you're right," it whispered. "I failed." Wind rushed to blow out the flames, but only fanned them, spreading the fire faster. "I failed too," Wind whispered, then fell still. Only the sun remained. It watched helplessly as flames crept toward Great Oak. "Sun, we are burning! Soon Great Oak will burn too," the valley cried. The sun wept. "I only wanted to help, but I failed." It whispered, then hid behind the hills in shame. Night fell, and the valley trembled. The keepers huddled, terrified. "What now?" they asked. The only sound was the crackle of fire devouring the earth. The only sight was smoke and shadows. "The valley is doomed," the keepers whispered. "We are alone." But then, through the smoke, a soft light appeared, glowing calm and steady in the sky. "You are not alone," said the light. "I am the moon." The keepers trembled with awe. "I have been watching over you," the moon continued, its voice soft and steady, "and I've seen just how much you've given the valley." A single tear fell from the moon, touched the earth, and the flames vanished. For a moment, all was still. "We are saved!" the keepers cried. "But who is this guardian?" Rain asked, amazed. "And what does it want?" Wind added, growing wary. The keepers drew back. "We don't know you," they said. The moon smiled gently. "I may be a stranger, but I bring rest and renewal. The valley needs both day and night. Even the strongest must rest to recover." Hidden behind the hills, the sun listened. "But we've lost so much," the keepers lamented. "You stopped the flames, but the valley is ruined. Now we are lost." Above them, the North Star twinkled brightly. "I am also a star like the sun," it said. "If you allow me, I will guide you through the night while the sun rests." "How?" the keepers asked. The moon's voice remained calm. "Now that the fire is out, we can rebuild. But first we must face the harm that's been done." The valley fell silent. "What harm?" The moon's voice softened. "I've seen the sun's exhaustion, the wind's frustration, and the rain's sadness. You've all cared deeply and tried your best for the valley, but the burden was never yours to carry alone." The keepers looked at one another. They had asked too much, not only of the guardians, but of themselves. One by one they spoke. "We asked too much of the guardians," said the keepers. "We are sorry for hurting you and the valley." "I am the one who hurt the valley," said the sun. "I felt so responsible that I stopped resting and listening. I'm sorry." "I should have helped," said Rain. "Instead, I ran when things got hard. I lost faith in myself, and in turn, your trust. I'm sorry." "Rain, you needed my support, and I wasn't there," said Wind. "I blamed you in anger and made things worse. I'm sorry." "Perhaps night is the punishment we deserve," whispered the keepers. "Let us leave the valley before we cause more harm. The moon should be its guardian now." The keepers and guardians wept for the harm they had caused and for the loss of their beloved home. But then a strong, unexpected voice broke through. "Stay," said Great Oak, its voice echoing across the valley, "for we are one." The keepers and guardians gasped. They had never heard Great Oak speak before. Awed silence followed. "Great Oak speaks true," the moon said. "The night isn't punishment, but balance. We are all important, but only when we work together for the greater good. If you allow us, we will be here for you too," added the North Star with a twinkle. "Just as you guide others to Great Oak's healing, we will guide you through the night. You deserve care and healing too." Wind stirred softly. Rain began to fall in gentle drops. The sun, still hidden behind the hills, glowed faintly. "We shall stay," the keepers declared, "and by staying, We will heal the valley together. The next morning, the sun rose gently, casting warmth over the valley. Wind stirred softly, and rain fell like a quiet whisper. The keepers were nervous, but hopeful. They didn't know what to expect and were still learning to trust. But each night, the moon brought cool relief, and the North Star offered quiet guidance. Together, the keepers and guardians worked, balancing their roles. Slowly, the valley began to heal. And that is how the valley earned its name, the Valley of Wisdom. The keepers share the tale of the lightning strike, not with shame, but with pride, for how the valley's inhabitants have grown in their respect for themselves and one another. Visitors still come to the Great Oak, seeking change and growth. The valley's strength lies not in any one individual, but in the shared stewardship of the community that thrives there. For none can be important alone. In balance, we are important together. The end.